All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is MemphisWeather.net coming to you live here on YouTube as we have a line of storms moving through the Memphis area and some hazardous weather right directly in the metro. So we'll be with you here for a little while as these storms push through. Joined here by MemphisWeather.net meteorologist Richard Hosney. We've got intern Eli Rogers with us as well. This is Eric Procius, and we'll be with you again for a little while here as we discuss the storms that are moving through and kind of what to expect from this line, and then maybe what's looking ahead as well. And just a little bit of a heads up for my colleagues on here. We are looking at another severe thunderstorm warning coming out right now for the heart of the metro. So keep an eye out for that. So let's talk about what we've got going on right now. This line that we forecast coming in a little bit earlier today actually did materialize, as opposed to yesterday when we weren't. We kept waiting and did not get that late afternoon, early evening line. But this one certainly is coming across and packing a fairly good punch. We've got some severe thunderstorm warnings along this line as it moves through, and really it's kind of a complex of a system rather than just a squall line. We see kind of multiple clusters of storms that are moving pretty quickly to the east-northeast. And this includes the storms that are kind of rotating around a center, so to speak. We have what we like to call a mesoscale convective vortex, or an MCV, which is basically the remnants of old storms kind of creating their own little mini low pressure system and firing new storms off. As this loop is going through, you can kind of detect it as it moves to the east with a little bit of a spin on the backside of this line as it moves kind of north of I-40 and moving across towards Covington County here. And I do want to go ahead and pause this and just take a look at what we've got currently. I'll turn off the warnings here for just a minute. But we have basically kind of a double line here. We've got the main line that's basically right along the Mississippi River. And then kind of an appendage that sticks out ahead of that, that is now into eastern Shelby County and down into the Marshall County area. So kind of two main forks in this line of storms, or this complex that's moving through. We're looking at the severe thunderstorm warnings, and there are multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Our main hazards with this system are going to be, first of all, high winds, potentially up to 60 miles per hour. We could see some small hail in some of these cores of these thunderstorms as well. And we're also looking at a couple of lines of very heavy rain moving through the metro as well as we approach rush hour here at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. And so areas that normally tend to hold water a little bit in the urban environment, you're going to want to be careful about those as you head home from work here in a little while, because those likely will be holding some water, despite the fact that we're in a drought and we really do need this rain. It's coming very, very quickly, and is going to overwhelm some of the drainage systems as it moves through. We're seeing that some of these winds are gusting up over 25 to 30 miles per hour. So, and inside some of these lines, probably a little bit stronger than that. To round off our warnings that we have in place right now, I'll start with the older warnings that have been out for a little bit. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning, actually a couple of them covering northern Covington County. That's going to be until 4:45, another one until 4:15. So that one will drop off here in a little bit, but till 4:45 for northern Covington County, that's going to be north of I-40. We have another larger warning that covers the northern half of Shelby County. So we're looking at basically along and north of I-40. That particular thunderstorm warning is for nickel-sized hail, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and effective until 4:45. We have another warning that is down to the south that includes Tunica County and western Tate County in our coverage area. So areas west of I-55 and Tate County and all of Tunica County for the southern end of this line. That warning is in effect until 4:30. And we're seeing up to quarter-size hail in that and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And then the last warning that has just come out is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning that covers the eastern part of Shelby County, includes this line that extends south down into Marshall County. It also includes all of Fayette County within our coverage area, and that goes until 4:45 as that severe line of thunderstorms is extending from around the Bartlett area down through the eastern part of Shelby County into Collierville. it across the northern half of Marshall County down towards Holly Springs. Again, 60 mile an hour winds and 1-inch hail possible in that line. So we see as that put that back into motion here, we are watching that line move across. Now, briefly, as we started to see that MCV or that kind of vortex spin up just a little bit over northern Crittenden County, there was for a short time a tornado warning that was in effect for the northern parts of Crittenden County, north of I-55. That has since been canceled. There was some rotation in that storm, but that rotation weakened enough and kind of devolved there into more of a straight line wind threat. So that system now is just severe thunderstorm warned as it comes across the river. And it is moving at a pretty good clip as it moves through the area. So that first line has already crossed through much of the metro, moving off into the eastern suburbs and then into Fayette and up towards Tipton County. The back edge of that now is approaching the river here, actually. So we will start to see that rain start to wind down here over the next 30 to 45 minutes for communities that are right along the river and then moving east from there. So looking at about a 1 hour or so impact as this system moves through. Obviously, if we're getting very heavy rainfall rates for an hour or so, that is going to cause some issues across the metro, particularly in the concrete jungle here, where we've got overpasses and low spots in roads and so forth. You're going to want to keep an eye on those as you're headed out and headed home from work here in a little while. So this line on a bigger picture extends all the way up from the Missouri Boot Heel down across the Mississippi River, all the way down to Clarksdale, and then actually some of this extends all the way down I-55 down through Mississippi. So we've got a pretty strong line here that's going to be moving through over the next hour or so as it pushes off to the east. I do want to take a moment here to see what we might have in store, look at the latest model data here to see how this line is showing up here. So this is the HRRR model, which seems to be doing pretty well with this system. We have it's struggled a little bit. It was part of the reason we were expecting more than we got yesterday. But that was a totally different scenario. This is a pretty well-formed line, and it's showing at 4 o'clock, basically the line or clusters of storms here, just about where they are here at 4 o'clock. And this is fast forwarding now. This is to 5 o'clock and kind of the back edge of this system, moving across the river and moving east. And you see that by 6, excuse me, most of that is going to be off to the eastern side of the metro. It does build a couple of storms back in behind that. We'll kind of keep an eye out for that, but it looks like the bulk of this system, you can kind of see how it wraps up in kind of a comma here from southern Missouri all the way down through the mid-south is pushing off to the east. And then beyond that, we have what would be this next little batch of thunderstorms that are going to be moving pretty quickly east across the state of Arkansas here. Now, this is still a little bit to be determined, but it does show another round of thunderstorms moving in about, this is 8 o'clock this evening and lasting a couple of hours. And that run ends at 10 o'clock. So you can kind of see right there between 8 and 10 o'clock, the potential for another round of thunderstorms coming through. We will keep an eye on that. Right now, those storms have not grown sufficiently into a large complex like this to guarantee that that's going to happen. But they're starting off, as you can see back here at 4 o'clock, just as a little cluster of storms in Oklahoma. Not quite as sold on that one just yet, but it certainly is giving us a pretty good idea of this current system moving out here in the next hour or so. So that's the current situation. I'll see if anybody else here on my team's got anything to chime in or any comments to make, anything we're seeing on social media questions-wise that we can help to answer.
Weather Service is pointing out an area of an enhanced wind just north of Collierville, north of 385. Looks like 35, 40 knot winds.
Yeah.
And has requested to pass along any reports of wind damage.
Yep. So if you see any tree damage, limbs down, or other types of wind damage associated with this system, Feel free to send them to us on our social media feeds. Obviously, you probably are aware, but we are Memphis Weather 1 on all of your favorite platforms. We do have a live thread running on Facebook with all of our updates in one post there. So feel free to drop those comments anywhere, or if you're, you can certainly drop them through our YouTube stream here as well in the comments on YouTube. And we will do our best to catch them there. I see a couple of enhanced areas of radar velocities here that we'll spend a minute on. Richard mentioned the one north of Collierville. So there is some enhanced velocity signature down on the north side of Collierville, north of Poplar, kind of extending up to far eastern Shelby County there in the northern sections of Collierville. Looking like that could be up close to 40 miles an hour or so in that area. What draws my eye here even more is going to be this line that is coming into the Shelby Forest area right now, headed towards Millington. And the radar is getting a pretty good view of this at the low levels. And we're seeing wind velocities that are approaching 60 miles an hour, moving into far southwestern Tipton County, far northwestern Shelby County, west of the Millington area. Up there in the Shelby Forest. So this would be, north of DeWitt Spain Airport. So Shelby Forest really is the area for that. But that's moving east. So you folks up in the Millington area, coming towards the Highway 51 corridor, and then the 385, 269 highway across northern Shelby County. This very intense line that is warned for a severe thunderstorm does contain strong winds in it. Could see 60 mile an hour gusts out of that as it moves east across northern Shelby County here over the next 30 to 45 minutes. And thought I'd take one other look here at the outage map from MLGW. Currently showing about 5,500 without power in some clusters. Looks like the southwest Memphis area. We'll zoom in a little bit here, looking at areas around the south part of downtown, South Main, and into South Parkway area. There's about 1,000 out down in that area. There's another cluster west of the airport in the Whitehaven region. Seeing about 1,500 almost out in that area. And then they're kind of scattered elsewhere. There's a pretty large one up over Bartlett as well. And I'm aware of that outage from family members who are in the region around Freeman Park, kind of the south side of Bartlett. And in the old Bartlett area, there are 2,500 customers without power in that area as well. And that occurred around the time that some strong winds blew through with that first line of storms that were pretty heavy. So we're looking at about 5,500 that are without power currently, 5,800 on this latest refresh. So starting to see scattered power outages across the city from these strong winds as this line moves through. If one of you would like to take a snapshot of the outage map and post that on our social media feeds, that would be a good thing to do.
I'm going to back out just a little bit and show you the latest watches, warnings, and radar. There we go. So we do have this system moving in from the south or west and west, and we do have warnings across the area. All severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see some heavy rain, thunderstorms moving through Collierville right now. You can see the watch warning map on the upper right, and you can see those warnings plotted. And if we back out just a little bit more, we can see the area that we're looking at. And it's a rather brief line. Weather Service saying that there could be some quick spin up tornadoes, but right now all we're seeing is severe thunderstorms. We did have a tornado warning earlier, but again, that's one of those quick spin ups that died out pretty quickly. And if we look to the regional, you can see the storms moving through. You can see those storms up in Missouri, and the storms just starting to form in eastern Oklahoma, and they'll be moving into western and Arkansas here in the next few hours. And that's what Eric was talking about, the second line that may be moving in later this evening. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. for the entire metro. And we are going to continue to watch that and bring you coverage as long as we are able, and probably won't be continuous during this entire thing. We'll probably take a break at some point as this line moves through. But we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the next little bit for portions of the metro. Looks like DeSoto County is relatively unaffected right now with warnings. There is heavy rain and thunderstorms moving into DeSoto County. Southwest Shelby County has some pockets of heavy rain in it, but really the heaviest rain right now, northern Shelby County, as well as eastern Shelby County, moving into Fayette County, northern Marshall County, and then another round of thunderstorms basically from Walls down to Tunica, and that is moving east. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Tunica County as well as western Tate County.
All right, so if we zoom back in and take a look at some of the finer details again on these storms right around Shelby County, and check something real quick here. Just 1 minute. All right.
We did have a question. Is Collierville clear right now? Looks like the heaviest of that has actually passed Collierville. I'm seeing that right?
Yep. Yes. And it looks like actually the severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed a little bit as well. Collierville's been removed. Most of Collierville is removed from the thunderstorm warning as that back edge has cleared into Fayette County. Now there are additional storms coming from the west, so it's I'll call it just a short lull here, probably for actually a kind of a good part of Shelby County, except for the southwestern corner and obviously the Shelby Forest area getting hit pretty good right now, but kind of in a lull in the middle of the county before this next little line moves through the area. So we have let's take a look here at the hail product to see where there might be some areas of hail, and it looks like the storms with the kind of the bright red signature up north of Holly Springs, northern Marshall County, also showing potential for up to 1 inch hail there, kind of right along the 78 Interstate 22 corridor. It goes right through the middle of Marshall County, just to the north of that area, up to the state line, the Tennessee state line. Seeing some potential for hail in that area, but otherwise, not really too impressive on the hail signatures. And let's go back again and look at the wind. And looks like that wind signature as it comes into Millington might be weakening just a little bit, but we're also getting this very heavy line of very heavy rain that's about to move over the radar as well. And that's going to distort our look at some of this weather just a little bit as that line passes over the radar. It's a phenomena that basically when you get that torrential rain falling on the radar dome itself, it tends to cause a lot of the other echoes it's trying to detect at farther distances from being detected well. So it may look like everything weakens just a little bit as that very heavy rain moves over the radar, but it will brighten back up once it emerges on the other side of Millington. So we'll keep that in mind as we're watching the radar here. But it is going to pick up wind signatures still pretty well. And right now it looks like there's just scattered pockets of maybe 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts or so and this very heavy rain, but currently not seeing anything too severe, which is good. This is just a lot of very heavy rain, maybe some small hail mixed in, and some occasional wind gusts in there that'll be up to 30 to 40 miles an hour. So we'll continue to keep an eye on these storms as they move through. I was also checking in with what the Weather Service was thinking for the next round of storms potential later this evening that we were talking about earlier as we looked at our HRRR model that shows the forecast radar tracks for later into or for farther into the future. And they are just as convinced as we are, which is not highly, that we'll see those storms move in later this evening. Something we'll have to keep an eye on. But these storms are strong enough that they are really tapping into a lot of the unstable air that's there and kind of stabilizing things with this cooler rush of air. We got very, very humid atmosphere, but the temperatures now are down back into the low 70s after getting up into the mid 80s ahead of this line. So it is cooling down quite a bit. We'll see how that might affect any additional storms later on. But a lot of East Arkansas has seen these storms move through as well and have stabilized the atmosphere some. I don't expect, as we get towards these storms moving out past 5 o'clock, that we'll see a lot of reheating behind us as the sun starts to dip down towards the horizon. So keep an eye on that for later this evening. But for right now, we'll deal with what we've got here. I do see a sample. This is outside our area, but these same storms that are moving through have resulted in wind gusts into the mid 40s up in Blytheville at the base up there. So about 45 miles an hour winds moving through with that line that extends all the way down into the Shelby Forest area. So just to give us an idea of what might be in store, not a lot of other places to sample the wind between here and there. So we use what we've got. It looks like the DeWitt Spain Airport down on Mott Island has picked up wind gusts a little over 30 miles an hour. West Memphis also gusting into the mid 30s, 35, 37 miles an hour as this line moved through. So pretty representative sample as we were looking at on radar here, seeing quite a bit of 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, which is going to do a little bit of damage, but not extensive. We're not expecting to see huge swaths of trees down or a lot more power outages and stuff, but that'll be enough to produce some additional scattered power outages as this line continues to move through. Do we have any comments or questions that people are asking on any of our socials or on YouTube we can answer?
I do have a question about what are the main threats for the second wave?
Yeah, if that line does happen to mature and make it this far and come through, I do think the atmosphere is going to be stabler than what it was for this particular line. So again, probably the high wind and hail threats will be primary. You don't have to have a lot of substantial heating to get some hail. So that certainly will be a threat. The tornado threat will still linger, but it's going to be, especially if we have a complex of storms rather than individual supercells. Ideally, for a larger tornado threat, you want to see individual storms not fighting with each other over the same piece of air. And when you get a cluster like we've got coming through now, it tends to mute that threat from tornadoes. But we'll have to see what that looks like. Can't tell you exactly right now, but the overall environment favors all modes of severe weather. So Eli, did I hear you chime in?
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, good. We got that question then. All right, well, we're glad to those of you who have joined us. This is MemphisWeather.net, and we're live right now talking about these thunderstorms that are rolling through as we approach rush hour. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect across portions of the metro, and we're expecting as this line moves through, we'll see this start to taper off as we head towards rush hour in another hour or so. Most of this should be east of the immediate Memphis area, maybe even a little bit quicker than that, actually, probably another 30 minutes by 5 o'clock. We should see a lot of this going towards the eastern side of Shelby County and moving east from there, as it does seem to be picking up just a little bit of speed as it's a little bit more organized right now as that line moves across the area. If you have any questions or comments, if you see any damage in your area, we would love to know about that. We'll make sure that gets passed on to the Weather Service. You can send that to us on any of our social media channels. We also can take those as comments on our YouTube feed. Weather Service pointing out this line that we were just talking about moving through northern Shelby County, and I'm going to pause it here at the last frame. This kind of line that's formed over western Tipton County down into northwestern Shelby County. This is starting to produce some pretty strong winds again. They're concerned a little bit about damaging winds moving through this area. This line is now basically over Millington. So if you are up in the Millington area, we would love to know what's going on up there. We will get reading from the weather station up there in just a little bit as it passes over. But torrential rain and probably some pretty strong wind gusts. I'm seeing some areas here that getting up to close to 40, maybe 50 mile an hour in a couple of spots up around Atoka. Pretty good line moving into Atoka and the Munford area. You'll be getting towards Brighton here shortly as well. So those areas down the 51 corridor is kind of where our hot spot is right now for highest winds, heaviest rainfall coming through those areas. Shift over to our hail product, and mostly it's just picking up some very, very heavy rainfall rates across that portion of the county. Still showing a little bit of a potential hail signature north of Holly Springs, south of Sladen. So this is going to be between I-22 and 72 across northern Marshall County, moving off to the northeast. And we'll take one look here at our rainfall as well. This is rainfall in the past hour. And is this correct? Wow, it is correct. Rainfall in the last hour, very, very heavy rainfall rates. This is surprisingly high. A couple of inches, 2 to 2.5 inches in the last hour, up just north of Crittenden County. And this is those storms that are moving now into the Tipton-Shelby County line and in this severe thunderstorm that is now in Millington. So very, very torrential rain rates. This is kind of they've gotten the bulk of the rain from this system already up here along I-55 and extending into northern Crittenden County, and received anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain out of this system. So looking for that very heavy rain. Watch out for ponding of the roadways up there across the northern part of the county. Some of those areas, rural areas up there on the northern part of the county, could be prone to some high water and short-term flooding, urban flooding that might be going on. So be careful if you are headed up that direction towards the Shelby Forest Highway 51 corridor, up towards Atoka into Millington and Rosemark, Brighton. Those areas are going to be receiving just buckets of rain here over the next 30 minutes or so. And just taking a look at a few other things here. That wind signature is picking up a little bit as that kind of next round. We were just talking about Collierville a little bit ago. This next little wave of heavy precip moves towards, it's in Germantown, moving towards Collierville and extending down over Olive Branch and tailing back to Hernando. There's a pretty good wind signature in there as well. So would not be surprised to see some 40 mile an hour winds or so in southeastern Shelby County. Coming off of the airport area, we might be able to get a reading off of Memphis International Airport. Let's see if I can find the latest. It is, gust 25, but that was about 10 minutes ago. So they're probably still getting a little wind out of that. But that will probably be a little bit stronger as it moves across the Hickory Hill area, going east through Germantown and heading towards Collierville with another round of some stronger wind gusts. So this would be that second batch coming through the eastern part of the county, kind of detached from the line that's up along the Highway 51 corridor and up towards Millington right now. So places like Raleigh and Bartlett, Lakeland, kind of between these systems right now, but that line is going to be coming through and giving us one more shot of heavy rainfall and some wind gusts on the northern part of the county as that rotates through there. Eastern part of DeSoto County, back towards I-55, also getting some very heavy rain. Could be some small hail on that and some wind gusts. And I think I'm going to take a quick look here, switch radars, and see what we get off of our TMEM radar. So this is Doppler radar that's down in North Mississippi in DeSoto County on I-55. If you've driven down I-55 headed south towards Hernando on the west side of the road, you might have noticed at an old way station stop there, a big golf ball sitting on poles, and that is the FAA's radar for Memphis International Airport. That is the one we're looking at now, and it gives us a little bit higher resolution picture, especially down in the areas of southern Shelby County and DeSoto County, North Mississippi. We can see those winds a little bit better, and we're definitely seeing some enhanced winds right along I-55 near Hernando there. Winds look like they're picking up to maybe 40 miles an hour in that area. We see the outflow along that system that's that little line that stretches up towards Olive Branch and Germantown, so some enhanced winds in that area as well. Those appear to be over 30, probably close to 40 miles an hour. We'll get a reading from Olive Branch here soon on that. And then we've got the heavy rainfall that's occurring also even down to our southern counties now, still stretching down I-55. So the Senatobia area down into Panola County, heavy rainfall there. And that will continue to move to the east. But the back edge of this now is east of the river. So those folks that are down in the southwestern quarter of Memphis, behind the line along the river in Shelby County, starting to clear out. We'll see all of this move east of the Shelby, Tipton, kind of DeSoto, Tate County corridor here, say the 51-55 corridor, and east. By 5 o'clock, we should start to see this let up pretty substantially as it moves east of the Memphis metro. We were just talking about the 51 corridor going up into Tipton County, and Atoka has reported, individuals reported wind gusts to 50 miles an hour in Atoka. And you can see that enhanced wind now that it's advanced to the eastern side of the Millington radar. We're getting a little bit better picture of the near surface winds stretching along 51. This is headed up towards Covington. So that matches with this very heavy rainfall from Gilt Edge down to Atoka and down the 51 corridor. This has some pretty strong winds, and Atoka has reported 50 mile an hour wind as that moved through there. And this wind has not weakened as it continues to push off to the northeast. That's now up over Brighton and extending up to the west of Covington. So this is going to continue to push to the northeast. I expect if you're up there in the Covington area, you're going to be watching out for these winds that are going to be coming from the southwest. Up to 50 mile an hour winds. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning that extends until 4:45 p.m. for northern Shelby County and all of Tipton County until 4:45. Still under severe thunderstorm warning. Richard, are you seeing anything else that I need to bring up here? Get him to rejoin here. We'll take a look at power outage status as the storms and wind continue to move across Shelby County. We're now to 7,300 without power. Still a bulk of those, about a third of that now is in that outage that occurred in Bartlett a little while ago. So right the center of Bartlett, that region is got about 2,600 out in there. We've still got about 1,000 without power, a couple of pockets of those down south of downtown, the South Main area, and extending down towards South Parkway, and then also the Whitehaven area, about 1,100 without power west of Memphis International Airport along the I-55 area. So this would be the Whitehaven portion of Shelby County. And Richard, are you with us here?
I am.
Yeah. Anything that you would like to point out?
Weather Service was talking earlier about some broad rotation north of Holly Springs, looks like northeast of Holly Springs now. And they're also highlighting some strong winds from Garland to Brighton in Tipton County, headed towards Covington.
Great. Okay. Yep. We were just discussing the 50-mile-an-hour wind report out of Atoka that's heading up towards Covington. I do see that rotation, kind of loose rotation down here northeast of Holly Springs. You can see on the wind signature on the right-hand panel here that we're seeing a little bit of kind of an inbound greens to some outbound reds there, maybe some broad rotation, and that would go right in this area of enhanced rainfall north of Holly Springs as well. So yeah, just a little bit of broad rotation in there. Not really seeing anything that would cause a tornado warning at this point, but the Weather Service is certainly keeping an eye on that. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but Blytheville on the northern edge of this line that we were just talking about, that stretches down into Tipton County, has reported a peak wind gust over 70 miles an hour with that line moving through there. Sustained winds of about 20 to 25 with gusts over 50 and a peak wind of about 73 miles an hour. So this line is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. So you folks in Tipton County, we're going to need to definitely keep watch on this along the 51 corridor moving into eastern Tipton County. These radar signatures have become a little bit stronger as we're looking at the wind values here. So I'm seeing about there's close to 60 to 70 miles per hour. This is about 1,000 feet off the ground. So that we are looking up just a little bit. That's probably not getting all the way down to the ground. But it is definitely going to be bringing some very strong winds to eastern part of Tipton County, and that'll be headed towards Lauderdale County and also over towards the Brownsville area here in just a little bit. New thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, yep. New thunderstorm warning for Shelby and Tipton County until 5:15. Capable of 60 mile per hour wind gust and penny size hail or 0.75 inches.
So that is this larger box that is out ahead of this line we've been talking about going through Tipton County. So it does just clip far northeastern Shelby County, Arlington. You will be kind of right on the edge of that, Rosemark up to Galloway and Braden. You folks are going to be in that warning. But the strongest wind in this particular box is going to be in eastern Tipton County, along and east of the 51 corridor, moving into Covington. So be interested to see what the airport there in Covington reports as this passes through as well. But that looks like a fairly strong wind signature. If you see any types of damage in that area, please pass those along to us on our social media channels. We would love to know what's going on and be able to pass that on to the Weather Service as well. But that's that area has definitely got some enhanced wind. So we're looking out for potential for branches, maybe some small trees coming down, and probably some power issues expected up there in Covington area over the next, we'll say next 30 minutes or so that this line is moving through. This southern warning appears to be expiring here in about 7 minutes. I think that we're going to see some reorganization of these warnings. This western warning as well, also expiring in 7 minutes. So that is going to clear a good part of northern Shelby County and western Tipton County when that expires in 7 minutes, and the southern warning expires in 7 minutes. I expect that we will see another warning that will come out covering this the Fayette County and moving east from there down maybe probably into North Mississippi. But this area behind the line up in Tipton County and certainly Shelby County will no longer be under warning. And there it is.
We have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:30 for looks like northeastern DeSoto, northern Marshall, Fayette County, southeast Shelby County, 4:38, a severe thunderstorm was located over Lamar, or 11 miles northeast of Holly Springs, moving east at 45 miles per hour, capable of 60 mile per hour wind gust and quarter size hail, or 1-inch hail.
Yeah, so this is getting a little confusing here because we've got about 3 or 4 warnings all over northwestern Fayette and northeastern Shelby County. A couple of those are going to drop off here in about 5 minutes, but I think this new warning, does that include Collierville? Yes, it does. Okay, so it does come down and include basically all of Fayette County, far eastern Shelby County, east of Olive Branch is far northeastern DeSoto County, and then the northern half of Marshall, all of Fayette, as I mentioned. So everything ahead of the line is under.
It looks like it includes Collierville, as well as Byhalia, Cockrum. Does not include Lewisburg. It's just to the east of Lewisburg. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But it does include Byhalia. Does not. It's just east of the Olive Branch Airport is where the line actually is showing. But again, does include Collierville, Holly Springs, Moscow, Somerville, Covington, a very large area of the metro. And I've lost my laptop here. There we go. So we do have a pretty large severe thunderstorm warning again in effect until 5:30 p.m. Current time is 4:40. So another 50 minutes on this warning. Byhalia, Collierville, Sladen, Holly Springs, Somerville, Moscow, Covington, and then up into Brownsville and those counties up there, Haywood County, Hardeman County. Back out just a little bit and show you the wide view. Might give you a little better perspective. Looks like most of the precipitation is now east of the river and continuing to push east northeast, basically right up along highway or I-40 rather. Going to be headed towards Jackson here in the next 30 minutes. So if you're up around that way, if you're headed from Memphis to Jackson, you're basically going to be following this line of thunderstorms as it moves northeast towards Jackson. Most of the I-40 loop, I believe, is clear. Yeah.
Yes. Most
of the loop is clear right now. That line of thunderstorms is actually pushing pretty good to the northeast. They said it was moving east at 45 miles per hour. Looks like the entire line is kind of moving more east northeast. But most of the metro are seeing some rain right now. But again, the western edges west of the river is clear right now. And we'll go out a little bit further, give you a little bit more perspective. So there are no tornado warnings in effect right now for our area. There are tornado warnings in effect for, looks like, southeastern Oklahoma. There are thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms developing across eastern Oklahoma and eventually going to be pushing into western Arkansas here in the next 30 minutes or so. And that's the second line that we are watching. And that should be here later this evening. And we are waiting to see exactly what kind of what kind of changes this makes to the instability in our area. The storms that are currently going through could dampen down the instability in our area, which means that the storms that will come in later this evening won't pack as much of a punch. Hopefully that's the case.
All right, I think I'd like to go back in and take a look here at the Covington area. We've got some very strong wind values showing up on radar here. Do not have yet the latest observation out of Covington. Those usually only come out about every 20 or 30 minutes. But radar is showing wind right over Covington right now. This is up about 1,200, 1,300 feet or so. Those winds are approaching 60 miles per hour at that level. And so with the winds at that level and very heavy rain falling, that rain is going to be dragging down some of those winds down to the surface. And so I do expect we're going to be seeing at least some minor damage, probably in some form, whether it's small trees or something occurring up there in the Covington area as this system moves across. Now it'll be moving out here probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, but pretty strong radar signature for high wind up over the northeastern part of Covington, kind of basically right over the airport, northeast of town. You can see some of these areas down to the south of Covington are starting to see the wind lighten up just a little bit. Brighton is starting to get a little bit better as that heavy rain starts to shift to the north. But this is going to be moving north up into Lauderdale County and then out towards Brownsville here over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. But want to make sure that we're paying attention to those folks up on the far northern part of our coverage area. Appreciate you guys that are tuning in from Covington.
Weather Service is saying that they're watching for a potential spin-up tornado in that area that you were just describing. Doesn't look like any huge potential right now, but the possibility is there that a brief spin-up tornado can't be ruled out. Got reports from emergency management that there are trees down in DeSoto County. Let's see, that is Slocum Road and McCracken Road, Nesbitt and Horn Lake, and then Highway 305 and Baden. There are trees down in those areas at those intersections, according to emergency management in DeSoto County.
All right, we have a tornado warning that was just issued. Let's make sure we get this on social media quickly. This does include the area we were just talking about. So it looks like the actual town of Covington on Highway 51 is just outside the warning. It does include the Covington Airport. So if you live north or east of Covington, you are in a tornado warning, and this is for these strong winds right that are moving out kind of on the leading edge of this mini line of storms moving out of Tipton County, going up into Lauderdale County.
Warning states that the 4:45 p.m. a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles southwest of Nutbush or 8 miles northeast of Covington, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Radar indicated tornado, and it is in effect until 5:15 p.m. And tornado warning in effect for northeastern Tipton County, as well as southeastern Lauderdale and northwestern Haywood County until 5:15.
All right. Good. Yep. So that's just barely inside Tipton County, and that storm will move out of Tipton County here in the next 10 minutes or so. But if you are in the Covington area, if you happen to be hearing sirens going off up there, go ahead and seek shelter. You need to find a place that is on the first floor, interior rooms, no windows, as low as you can get, and in the interior most portion of your dwelling. Make sure that you put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Stay away from windows because these winds are strong enough that they could cause some damage. So if you're up in the Covington area, particularly northeast of Covington, you want to be finding your safe place right now and staying there. You will not probably have to be there very long. This storm is moving pretty quickly and will move out. If you are listening to us farther up into Lauderdale County or Haywood County by chance, the Henning area is along Highway 51 is also in this tornado warning. It looks like that storm is going to pass to the core of the storm is going to pass south of Ripley, but it will. You're getting very heavy rain and some wind gusts up there now already, and it looks like it is basically just west of Highway 70/79, going up through Haywood County. So we're looking at areas west of Brownsville, west and north of Brownsville, along basically if you're driving north, 70/79 is to your left. So the western side of Highway 70 there.
So the good news is it is moving away from Covington. It's moving to the northeast, but it is headed towards towards Haywood and Lauderdale counties.
Right. So it is, most of this in that particular region is fairly rural, but basically between the goalposts of Highway 51 and Highway 70, from northern Tipton County, northeast Tipton County, to the northeast. That is the area that will be under the tornado warning. I do want to not forget about our friends here in the immediate metro. Take a quick gander back at what's going on here in Shelby County. It looks like just about all of the precipitation has left Shelby County, with the exception of the Lakeland and Arlington areas up towards Galloway. So this is now northeast of, just passing northeast of Wolf Chase, heading out I-40. Another 5 minutes or so, and this storm will be outside of Shelby County. If it's not raining in your area, you are no longer under severe thunderstorm warning. And that warning is going to be, that the storms in the warning will be exiting Shelby County here shortly. And also going down to the south, DeSoto, Tate counties, Tunica County, you guys are all behind this line of storms. We still have storms extending down through Marshall County and up through Fayette County. So severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect for northern Marshall County until 5:30, for all of Fayette County also until 5:30, and then we've got this the severe thunderstorm warning on the northern part of this line that goes until 5:15 right now, with the tornado warning embedded within that particular area of Tipton County and heading into Haywood and Lauderdale.
Looks like the Weather Service has trimmed the warning on the south end of that to remove DeSoto County and parts of northwestern Marshall County, as well as southeastern Shelby County.
Yep, Collierville has been dropped. Collierville and Piperton are no longer in the warning. So they're keeping these warnings trimmed up right behind the back of these storms as they move east. So that tells you basically there is no threat once this precipitation passes your area. You are out of warnings, and you can resume your activities as long as you have power and don't have water in places it shouldn't be. I have not seen anything related to the tornado watch that is in effect. That does go until 10 o'clock tonight. They right now are not removing the watch behind this line of storms. And that is probably a nod to those storms that are off to our west that are headed this direction. I think instead of canceling this watch behind this line of storms, they want to make sure that they're keeping an eye on what might be coming up from the backside. And so looks like we probably, until a decision is made on how those storms might in southeastern Oklahoma and Arkansas that are moving in this general direction are going to act, we're going to keep the tornado watch going into the evening.
So the Weather Service has trimmed the tornado warning out of Tipton County now, so no longer in effect for Tipton County. However, there are reports of trees down near Frazier Park in Covington.
All right, and we were talking about that exact thing, that these winds are probably strong enough to be bringing some trees down, and we have gotten that report that they have in fact done that. Richard, if you'll take a quick look at that mesoscale discussion just came out, see if there's anything that's important for us. So the tornado warning is now clear of Tipton County. If you are listening to us up in the Covington area, you are free to, there are still some thunderstorms that are overhead, but the threat from a potential radar indicated tornado is now to your north, and you may come out of your safe place and keep an eye on the heavy rain and still a little bit of wind that's still kind of picking up on the backside of this system. Still not seeing anything significant out of the AWAS at Covington, the observing equipment, but that was the last observation was at 4:30, so it's probably not capturing the heaviest of that storm.
So the latest mesoscale discussion is basically saying that there are swaths of severe wind that are moving through our area now, and that's expected to persist as it moves into central Tennessee, as there is higher values of instability downstream into middle Tennessee and southwest Kentucky. So nothing really for our area. We're basically, it's going to ramp up is what it's either going to persist or ramp up as it moves east, basically along I-40 up into Nashville over the next few hours.
So let's take a quick look here at the latest from the HRRR model. Let's see if we got a new run, and it does not go out far enough to do yet. Here, back up. All right, so let's fast forward to where we are now. It's 5 o'clock, and this is what that model expected the radar to look like at 5 o'clock. We've got the cluster of storms. The Memphis is right where my cursor is moving here, right in the middle of the screen. So has the storms basically just east of the river at 5 o'clock, along and east of the river. It is a little bit further ahead than that by about a county. But it has the general idea. And as we move forward, you'll see this is 6 o'clock and then 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. This is area behind the line and ahead of this next system is kind of what I'm looking at. And we're seeing the model want to fire off some new storms in that kind of lull. And especially, you see the cluster of storms in southwest Arkansas here at 7 o'clock. That same cluster is right there at 8 o'clock, but all of this is new development out ahead of it. We have seen this before. I'm not new to this game with the HRRR in thinking that we're going to see storms blow up just kind of out of nowhere here. I do definitely believe that this system that's part of what's moving out of our Oklahoma down into southern Arkansas is real. I am not so certain about all of this kind of widespread thunderstorm activity ahead of it. So we will keep an eye on that. Clearly, the tornado watch is not being canceled right now. So the Weather Service wants to still keep an eye on it a little bit as well. But we'll see if that materializes. We'll continue to post on social media what our thoughts are there. But it does look like this next kind of line that's forming out of Oklahoma and into northern Texas as it moves east. The best part of that appears like it's going to go to our south. And that makes a lot of sense to me because I think a lot of this area in central and northern Arkansas into our vicinity has really been worked over by these storms pretty good. Nice outflow boundary probably laid out down to the south of these storms where you kind of have a boundary between the more stable area to the north where the storms have already moved through and the area to our south. Kind of a boundary there and much more unstable area to the south. And these systems tend to like to follow those boundaries, and they want to. The storms only prosper in the unstable air. So it does make sense that this would continue to move east and kind of stay in the area that has been untouched by storms so far. I have no doubt that we'll see another convective complex move through at least southern Arkansas and northern Mississippi. I just am not convinced right at this point about seeing all of this activity over the metro, other than perhaps some of these showers kind of rounding around the low pressure center that's moving off to the east. So not saying we won't see anything. We could still get some showers and a few rumbles of thunder. I'm just, as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm a little not convinced, we'll say, about another round of storms like we just had. So let's go back and see what we've got presently. And for those of you who are watching and you're still off to the eastern part of us, we will stick with this live stream for a little bit longer until the majority of these storms have gotten over to the Fayette County line and east of Marshall County. So we're looking at probably another 15 to 20 minutes or so to get these storms off to the east, and then we will be calling this stream an end. So, Richard, do you want to take this for a minute and you able to talk about the eastern part of the counties?
So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning just outside of our coverage area. It is for basically for the southern part of Marshall County and Lafayette County. But you can see that there is a lot of activity pushing off to the east right now. Basically, the northeastern portion of Shelby County into the eastern portion of Covington County, or rather Tipton County, and all of Fayette County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. The northern portion of Marshall County also is in a severe thunderstorm warning as well. The entire area is still under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. Here's a wider view where you can see just how quickly this stuff is moving off to the east. It is, again, moving up to the northeast and basically moving into the Jackson, Tennessee area as we speak. So it is quickly pushing out. If we take a even wider view, you can see that the activity extends all the way up into southeast Missouri, and there is additional activity that Eric was talking about earlier that is moving out of eastern Oklahoma and into western Arkansas, and we are going to be watching that as it moves into the area. Taking another look at the radar a little closer in, you can see that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that is in effect until, let's see here, until, I always want to find it, anyways, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:30. It is currently 4:59, so another 30 minutes on this warning. Looks like this northern Marshall County warning may be trimmed as this moves out of the area. We did just see a little bit of a trim from this warning in Tipton County, and the far northeastern portion of Shelby County still under the warning, and that warning again goes until 5:30. Looks like all the activity has moved out of Shelby County and is moving into Fayette County. Even Somerville seeing some heavy rain right now. They are under severe thunderstorm warning, but that activity, the heaviest activity, is now in eastern Fayette County, and it is moving to the east. We do see some activity over Haywood County, which is outside of our coverage area, but there is a tornado warning for the Brownsville area in effect until 5:15, so another 15 minutes on that. There is still some rotation with that. The Weather Service not opting to cancel that warning just yet. There is still the possibility for a brief spin-up tornado with that activity. All this activity is moving to the east northeast, and will quickly move out of the area over the next 30 minutes. If you're in Shelby County, most of Tipton County is dry. Most of, or all of DeSoto County, Tate County, and Tunica County are all dry. Crittenden County is dry. So I think the all clear for Shelby County, as well as Crittenden, Tunica, DeSoto, Tate, and most of Tipton County is, again, in the all clear. The only other issue is Fayette County, as well as portions of Marshall County. Again, far eastern areas of the coverage area are still under a are still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and the entire area again is still under a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. Again, all those storms that are moving out of Arkansas, or out of Oklahoma and into Arkansas, could pose an additional threat later this evening. Weather Service has not said anything about canceling the watch early, so they are going to keep the tornado watch that's in effect until 10 p.m. In effect. It looks like the Weather Service now saying that they are not planning to reissue the tornado warning. And they're going to let that expire. So that is good news up in Haywood County, that they are going to let that expire as it continues to move out of the area.
All right. So as Richard said, we're drawing closer to this wave moving completely out of the metro. I did see another little bit of trimming of these warnings just momentarily ago. So more of Fayette County now is clear. Basically, if the heavy rain has stopped, your threat is over. So just the far eastern part of Fayette County, still getting some pretty heavy rain and potential for some wind in there as well. Richard mentioned that Tipton County now pretty much all clear. We've just got a little bit of light rain left in areas where the tornado warning was earlier, but Tipton, you're pretty much all clear there.
Finally got a wind report out of Covington, a gust of 53 miles per hour.
There we go. I knew that'd be coming shortly. So that was probably taken right as that storm was overhead there.
4:45.
4:45. Yep, that was right under that storm. Great. Not great for the wind. Good that we got some confirmation of what was going on up in that area, and that the radar had a good handle on it. So as these storms continue to move to the east here, we'll be seeing these warnings trim back even further. This warning that goes till for another 30 minutes that covers Fayette County and still a small little slice of DeSoto County. Marshall County. That will be clearing before 5:30 as these storms move out. So we're on the home front here as we head towards the end of this system. I do want to pull up. There it is. There we go. Latest outage map from MLGW. And I think I've frozen up here. Give it just a second.
Your outage map is having an outage.
Yeah, I have an outage of all of my browsers. Here we go. I'm stress testing my system here apparently. It is loading 7,500. So have not seen a great deal of restorations, although I think some of these numbers were higher a little earlier. So while some folks are getting restored, others are still losing power here in the last 20 to 30 minutes or so. But see, it's pretty scattered across, especially the southern half of the county. That pretty major outage in Bartlett that kind of led things off here earlier. And up there in the Millington area, we've got where that strong Bo Echo moved through, produced some pretty good winds. We've got over 1,000 without power up along the Highway 51 corridor there in Millington. So let's see.
Looks like the Weather Service has now canceled the tornado warning for Haywood County.
Excellent.
They canceled it early, so that's good news.
Yep, and we'll have the rest of these storms out of here very shortly. So we'll probably go about another 5 minutes or so, and then wrap this up. Are we getting any other reports? Eli, are you seeing anything? Any reports coming in of damage? That's a no, and that's good. That's good. Let's see. Back out here to this bigger picture view. So we'll look again here. Let's make sure I got the latest view on here. Refresh of that. Yes. So we do have this complex that's moving through our area. Rain and thunderstorms stretching all the way down to Birmingham and Montgomery and right up through northern Mississippi along the 22 corridor into the Memphis area and all the way up north, up I-55 as well. Additional storms crossing through the central portions of Mississippi. And then we've got the scattered storms back here to the west. And some of those are now as far north as the Ozarks. We initially started, when we started this live stream about an hour or so ago, the storms were confined to southeastern Oklahoma. There are additional storms firing up to the north. So we will see what happens when they encounter an atmosphere that's a little more hostile as they get closer to eastern Arkansas in particular. Just looking over some mesoscale analysis that shows us where the highest instability values are, where the most storm fuel is. And western Arkansas still does, these storms that are coming through here were not organized nearly as well back in western Arkansas. They were more of just solitary storms. So there's still some pretty good unstable air back there in western and almost up into the Little Rock area. But as you get into the eastern parts of Arkansas and, of course, right here in the Mid-South, a lot of stable air falling in place behind this departing line. So I do expect to see these storms probably continue and maybe continue to grow as they get into the western half of Arkansas. We will see exactly how they fare once they get east of Little Rock or so, and if they have put together enough of an organized complex to kind of beat out the odds of lower instability here, it's possible that we could see another round. And guessing if that happens, it's probably going to be closer to 10 o'clock or so before we start to have to worry about that here. But we'll see exactly how that materializes. So that's our big picture.
Looks like Eli has rejoined us. Eli, do you see anything on your end? Any reports? Any questions?
It's just mainly people asking about another wave of storms. That is the main. I've been asked that maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's a good question. That is the $1 million question for tonight. I can say that whatever is going to pass through tonight, whether this was it, or if we get some just scattered activity, or if we get something a little more organized after about midnight or so, we should be done with storms for the foreseeable future. This is going to clear us out. We'll have a cold front that's coming through tonight. That is going to bring in cooler air, shift our winds around. It looks like that front gets through here early morning tomorrow, and we will be looking at a more pleasant atmosphere to deal with for the next several days. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the forecast here, and we'll take a quick look at that before we depart. Do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
So it looks like the timing-wise, it would be moving into the metro after 8 p.m., 9 p.m., somewhere around there. Is that what you're seeing?
Okay. Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. Maybe closer to 9. But there will be a lull of a few hours during the evening. So if you do have plans this evening out, feel free to go ahead and take part in those. Get out. It's cool off. It's really humid, but it might be a nice night for a little walk out there. Just kind of keep your eyes open and stay tuned in as we get a little bit closer to the late evening hours after 8, 9 o'clock. We might be watching that next wave come in, but you should have some time to get out, get some dinner if you want to, get out, take a walk, whatever, and enjoy the evening, albeit a little bit humid. The temperatures now are falling into the upper 60s, so not too bad from a temperature perspective. Speaking of temperatures, let's take a quick look at the forecast going forward here. Would encourage you to check out MemphisWeather.net on the web. Most of you probably have. If you don't know, you can pull this up on your mobile phone and save this off as a shortcut to your home screen, and it will appear in mobile app format. So we would love for you to download in that way by going under your browser, going to MemphisWeather.net, and then setting that to your home screen. It will open in a different format that is much more akin to what you would see on a mobile phone. In fact, I can kind of mimic that. I'll do that. We'll put the radar on one part, and we'll take a look at the app here on the other side. So this is kind of what it would look like. So we do have the forecast for this evening. We see those evening showers and thunderstorms. By midnight, we should see most of that tapering off. Can't rule out a few showers as the cold front comes through late tonight, maybe a thunderstorm, but the energy will be pretty well sapped out of the atmosphere. Temperatures aren't going to drop too much more tonight. We're looking at a low 64. Again, it's about 68 right now, so temperatures are not falling much as that wind shifts around towards the west. As we wake up tomorrow morning, maybe a lingering isolated shower, but I think most of us will stay dry for most of the day tomorrow. Still quite a bit of cloud cover around on the backside of this system, but we're looking at highs tomorrow only around 74 degrees. Should be rather pleasant. Got a north wind blowing at 10 to 15 miles an hour, so there'll be a drying wind, and despite some of that cloud cover, should be a pretty pleasant day tomorrow. That leads into a Thursday that looks really nice, 71 degrees and partly sunny skies. It'll be dry, still that northeast wind. We'll be waking up Thursday morning to temperatures in the mid-50s, maybe even closer to 50 in the suburbs. Then as we go out into the weekend, a lot of things going on around town. As we hit the first weekend in May, we got the Riverbeat Music Fest, several other events across the city that I know people will want to be participating in. Overall, the forecast does not look too bad. We're looking at one wave of precipitation that will be passing mostly by to our south. Most likely time for that is going to be late Friday into early Saturday. Most of that rain will stay south of Memphis. But there is a chance we could see some light rain Friday PM, Friday overnight. No thunder, no severe weather. It looks like it's just it is going to be cool enough and stable enough. We might just get some light rain out of that. That would occur again late Friday into early Saturday is the way it kind of looks right now, if it doesn't just stay south of us completely, and that might happen as well. So we got a low end chance of rain Friday. We'll see highs only in the upper 60s with mostly cloudy skies. So we're reaching back to what March typically would feel like. Saturday and Sunday look just spectacular. If that rain occurs Friday night, moves out, we'll be seeing lows around 50 degrees in the mornings this weekend. Those highs in the upper 60s to low 70s, low humidity. That continues right into early next week. Upper 40s on Sunday morning, low 50s on Monday morning, and those temperatures staying in the 70s. So cooler than normal temperatures. Here's your 6 to 10 day, May 4th through the 8th temperature outlook. Below normal temperatures for a good part of the eastern half of the country, and that includes the Memphis area. Precipitation might start to see that tick up just a little bit as we head towards the end of April, actually the early part of May next week. Might start to see a little bit more rainfall. Cooler temperatures stick around even towards the second week of May, and precipitation there not above normal, not too much above normal, so not really expecting anything too wet there as we head into May. So certainly we'll take that. Cooler than normal temperatures in May means really pleasant, and probably not too many 80s going on in the afternoons. As long as summer will hold off, we'll take that for sure. So let's take one more look at radar before we skedaddle out of here. Looks like we're looking at Fayette County. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect, but that is about to be cleared out completely from Fayette County. Only lingering precipitation of concern is far northeastern part of the county. That's all moving over towards Bolivar now. That line is east of our area. Holly Springs and Marshall County is cleared out. Tipton County has cleared out. So we are pretty much done with the precipitation here in the metro for now. I'll remind you the tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. tonight. We'll be watching those storms to the west. Stick with us on social media. Memphis Weather 1 on all of your favorite platforms, Twitter, X, Facebook. We are also on Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram. So go to any of those platforms and get the latest from us. We'll make sure we keep you posted. Appreciate it if you would make sure that you are checking out our Stormwatch Plus app. Hopefully we don't have too much more severe weather for a little while, but that app is a nationwide app, but it is an in-house app. We have built that, have designed it, and we support it. So we definitely encourage you to have multiple ways to get warnings, and certainly the Stormwatch Plus app should be up there as one of your mobile application solutions to that. So check that out. Go find our website, put that on your home screen so that you can get the forecast and radar and anything else you need from us any time of day. Our Blue Sky feed is on there, so all of the latest updates you don't have to be on the Blue Sky platform. You'll be able to see our updates just like we post them to Twitter and other places right there through the MemphisWeather.net mobile application as well. So, Richard, do you have anything else we need to talk about?
Only other thing would be if in case we do go live later tonight, just have the notification bell on YouTube checked. You can check it just for live, or you can check it for all videos, just to be able to get notified if we go live tonight, or any other time for that matter. And we hope to be able to do this a little more as we go forward into the future. So for Richard and Eli, appreciate everybody who's joined us tonight. Thank you for doing that. And everybody stay safe and dry. Enjoy the next few hours of dry weather, and we'll keep you posted on what's coming later tonight. Have a good evening.